switch this off and let us go live. Let's see. And let us go live. Okay. Let's switch this on. Do, do, do. Hey, hello Jamik. Hello. We're just gonna wait out a little bit and then start our hangout. Okay. Let's see. Where's the social part of this? Let's throw a little reminder to everybody, and then we can start. Actually, there's an interesting tweet by somebody. I wanted to talk to you guys. Our Hangout is live. Come and say hi. Alright, so let's post this here, and then let's post this here. This. What? Create post. Falcon use. Paste it here. Next. Add reactions. This. I'm doing the Telegram stuff, so give me just a sec, guys. So now, send. There we go. So we send it on Telegram too. So we got everything here, and let's do Twitter. There's an interesting thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Maybe we can talk about this a little bit later. was something that came up on the notifications bar. Somebody mentioned us for from Mango encryption algorithm, right? So these guys here, they just sent us an @ on Twitter, and it's really interesting because they put a post up here and says, here are the reasons the next generation of Mango will be written in Falcon PHP. And if you look at these these little graphs, these are graphs from the blog posts that we did with a simple comparison on how heavy your framework is. What those blog posts were about was as follows. Unless you're programming in assembly, pretty much you're never going to get the maximum performance out of your application. There's always going to be some layer. Every language introduces a layer of complexity that your processor has to go through and deal with something. So to give you an example, if you have a web page in pure HTML, it's going to be faster than a page that you have in PHP. And the main reason is your pure HTML, your browser just renders it, whereas PHP, your web server has to read the PHP, interpret it, compile it, produce the HTML, and then give it to you. So that extra layer slows things down. And what we did here is in these tests were to produce a simple hello world, just hello world out in the on the browser. There was no complex application. There was nothing. Hello, Oleg. Welcome back, buddy. So there was nothing really going on. But the point of those tests was to tell you how fat your framework is. So how much the framework that you choose is going to slow down your processes compared to a pure PHP, only PHP implementation. And then from then on, you just have an idea of where you are, and then you keep on growing. Of course, the more services you add, the slower your responses will become, especially if you add a database. So what we did is we did this just to inform people so that they have an idea of what they would need, and it's also a good idea to know what kind of equipment you're gonna get, you're gonna need if you have an application in any of those applications. So we picked up very usual the usual suspects: Symfony, Laravel, ZendNet, and all that stuff, and we run different requests per second with this hello world. Okay, so in the 1,000 requests per second, this little graph shows you that Phalcon response is 0.7 seconds, and then Zend, Symfony, and Laravel respond to 3, 4, and 6 seconds. Now, again, this is not anything against any other framework. It actually shows you the cost of the framework to your application. And there are other graphs here, the included files per request. This was just a micro application, I believe. Since Falcon is in memory, everything is there, so it doesn't have to go around in the file system and include files. But you see, actually this was not a micro, this was the real application, because you have 199 files in Zend, and 244 and 224 and 234 Laravel and Symfony. So you see all these file reads and writes. They will be a lot more. Now, granted, you will have, once those files are read and once you have OP cache, you're not going to have a big hit on the read and write for your file system. But again, this is not a comparison to show that Falcon is the greatest and latest. It's to show what is the impact of a framework to your system. I mean, you might love Laravel. Good for you. Way to go. All right. But you should know that this comes with its own cost. All right. And that cost, if you're willing to pay for it, go for it. And what I mean by pay is you might require a little bit more of a faster processor. You might require a little bit more of this or that. Perhaps the things that Laravel and the whole ecosystem offers outweigh what you're gonna pay. So it's up to the developer to decide. So I was bringing this to everybody's attention because these Mango Enterprise encryption algorithm, these guys, they put this up there that this is the reason that the next generation of Mango will be written in Phalcon. These are the memory used. Again, this was done 2 years ago. Of course, this was Falcon v3, and these guys have this website over here, mirzani.info.mango, and they're gonna build everything in Falcon. So good evening to Sava, Henry, Janik again, and all that. Henry says. Janik says, I think Falcon is faster because it's flying, actually. Yeah, that's funny. So Henry says, check out the Tech Empower benchmark. I have not seen the Tech Empower in a few years, to be quite frank with you. So might as well. Tech Empower, probably. I'm pretty sure Falcon is not gonna be fast there. I can tell you that for sure because there's a lot of how should I put this? There's a lot of factors that make a framework faster in a benchmark like this. So if you are to compare like for like, then probably it's gonna be okay. If not, then it's definitely not. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by that. So best bar chart, whatever. This is JSON serialization or fortunes. All right, let's click on the JSON and let's go to show filters. Okay, so all right, get rid of everything. Get rid of everything. Get rid of everything. All right, these leave them. All right, get rid of those. So we need Linux. We need where is it? PHP. All right, let's go full stack. Platform. What do you put as a platform? Apache, I guess. We don't have Node. We don't have Rust. Nothing has been done there. And front end server. Actually, you know what? Let's enable these and enable these. I don't know what is gonna come up with this. All right, so Cake is okay, CodeIgniter is okay, FatFree is okay, Cumbia, Laravel, Lithium, Hamlet is not okay. It's an asynchronous. Pixie is fine. Ubiquity no. Yi, Zend, and Falcon. All right. So let's go and apply. And you see, Cumbia and Pixie are a lot faster than Falcon. This is in the JSON. Actually, I don't know if Cumbia utilizes any, or Pixie, they utilize any generators. Because this performance does tell me that they have some sort of an asynchronous. The above link is only PHP frameworks. Hi John, how are you? So that's my only concern. If it is like for like, then Falcon does really well. If not, it's the faster. If it's not like for like, then it's not gonna work. And what do I mean by that? The minute you start comparing Swool, for instance, with Falcon, you're not making a proper comparison. One is on a synchronous framework, the other one is synchronous. Similarly, Cumbia and PHP Pixie. That's my question. Do they have asynchronous functionality, meaning generators? So here's maybe phpixie. So this is where I'm gonna figure it out if it does. So I don't even know which one they're using here. I haven't seen this. All right, let's find this framework. So if there are any generators, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. Oh, good, great. They don't have any generators, so this is pure speed. Way to go, guys. That means that we have a lot of work, guys, to get up to these guys. I do believe that this is the case. The reason I typed the word generator up here is because in Falcon, not in Falcon, in a PHP, you can use a generator and the word yield. So actually, let me see. Do they have the word yield? Yeah. Oh, nice, excellent. They don't have it. So that is raw speed. Actually, let's see Cumbia. I think there you go, Cumbia PHP. And let's see here, yield. Excellent. That is awesome news. So this is raw speed as well. So here's what where I was getting with this. This is why I was questioning why this one has 103 and this one has 159. Okay, and probably by just looking at what the implementation is going to happen, what implementation has happened here with JSON or the single query and all that stuff. The reason I was questioning this was because PHP has the generator object and it has the yield statement. So in a loop, you can actually, if you do for each record as whatever, or for x equals y, you can do a yield, and that allows other processes to run at the same time. So this one increases your speed. It makes it as if it's a little bit asynchronous, right? Nikita Popov Nikic, I think, has written a great post in his website with regards to generators and how you can create asynchronous queues, so to speak, with what you call it, with PHP generators without having to do any crazy stuff in C. Now, Swool, for instance, does a pure C-based implementation of coroutines. But if you want to do that, you can do it with yield and the generators. And this is what I was trying to find out, whether Cumbia and Pixie are using yield and generators internally, or whether this was just raw speed from them, which is great to see that they have this is pure speed in their implementations, which is excellent. I mean, I'm really happy for these guys. So if I go query Falcon MongoDB, that's an old one, really old one. This one should be what is going on, but here you see it says Laravel Swool, so that one is not working very well for me because Swool is asynchronously. So fat-free raw, multiple queries, and it's not horrible. I mean, here it's horrible. It's 5,000 below Zend. Oh my goodness. Let's see the fortunes. Again, MongoDB Phalcon is okay-ish. So we got a lot of work, guys. That's what this tells me. We got a lot of work to hit the top. So absolutely, we have to make sure that everything is fine. Let's see the chat. It says platform is all okay. The last run before the round 10. So should I change this? Round 19. Well, round 19 is not there, buddy. Round 19 is is using Phalcon before the GitHub to the benchmark. Hi Shell, in the last run exist more frameworks using async PHP platforms. Yeah, of course. Of course they do exist. That's why I was trying to say, hey, you know, you can't do all of this. So if I take off the full stack and I put just micro, you see that makes 4. But if I type swool here, somewhere here it should be a QRS Sprock. I have to find the SW, maybe. No? So this one has swool front end, realistic. So yeah, it's picking up everything here. We said PHP. Okay. Let's post that. So again, see here, Lumen swool. Slim is faster. Lumen doesn't. Lumen is there, but there's nothing here. In the Phalcon micro is faster even than Lumen swool in JSON serialization. And that's not what I wanted to see. I mean, yeah, it is fast, but data updates, Slim is there, Phalcon is not there, plain text, again, Phalcon is not there. So yeah, it's a lot of things to work. So the bench have a continuous bench for developers, continuous run for benchmark for developers. Select all classifications. Enable all, like this. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, this is the interesting thing. The minute I put ubiquity in there, it's gonna kill everything, right? And as well as Hamlet. So have a look. See, swool is at 100%. Swool will throttle 1.2 million requests. And let's see where poor Phalcon is. Micro is at 110. Phalcon micro is at 110. So you see, it's barely one. What is that? 10% or 1%? I was never good at that. But swool, Workman, and Hamlet and AMP, all these are asynchronous. So you cannot compare those with things that are synchronous. So John, usually the what you call it, the chat on YouTube is not gonna let you post something. Edgar's, thanks for coming, buddy. Yeah, it is midnight around there, and you were already falconing all day. Have a nice evening, buddy. So, well, it doesn't matter if his swool is the fastest now, John. Where I was getting at is that you have to compare like for like. If you're gonna compare an asynchronous framework or a framework that uses asynchronous techniques with a synchronous framework, then you're gonna lose all the time, right? So in this one here, I think PHP H2O, PHP pools, these are asynchronous ones. AMP, Hamlet swool, Workman, and swool, these are all asynchronous ones, as well as Lumen swool. I think ubiquity is as well. So if I was gonna compare something or say, hey, you know, something is not right here, I would be more interested in the difference between Phalcon Micro at 110 and Cumbia at 159 than Phalcon at 110 and, let's say, Hamlet swool at 531, right? So this is why I keep on saying that the benchmarks are great to actually give you an idea of what's going on, but you shouldn't take it as a gospel. And the reason we wrote those blog posts were just to give people an indication. Unfortunately, you have people that do not take this as a constructive argument, and they take it as a competition. So it is what it is. As far as Falcon can use the async platform too, I don't know what kind of platform you can use. Honestly, I don't. There has been some work, not to the production ready part, that Falcon can introduce some sort of an async coroutine. And the word that we're going to use would be async, in loops and stuff like that. Unfortunately, with all the stuff that, and this one was, I think, close to the end of the year last year, but we had so much to do. We had to release V4, and then with the new year, we had the new stuff going on, and of course now the crazy virus is here, and everybody's stuck inside, and you're pretty much looking after your family mostly, rather than an open source project. So hopefully, once we get back to some sort of a normal way of living, we're gonna be able to move the async even better. But yeah, it is not a big deal. But I would definitely be interested to see if what kind of tests you're talking. Is it John or Juan? Or no, it's John, I think. No, that's Juan. I'm thinking of a different name. So, John, if you want to send me the URL, you can send it to team@phalcon.io as an email. I can pick it up from there and show it here if you want. But the chat will not allow you to post the URLs. So yeah, these are the little tests that you can run. I would say the one that would allow you to be more realistic would be the one that will not have Swool, I would say, and will not have H2O, probably, maybe. And the Workerman, I don't know what. See, Workerman and AMP will definitely be there, as well as pools. So in this one, PeachPy is much faster. Interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. Just gives an idea. We're getting there. There's a lot of stuff that we want to do. One of the things that we do have as a request, and you know, it is what it is, guys. We're trying our best here, and thank God we have a really good community that is helping as much as possible with documentation changes, with link is in the repo, the Tech Empower repo, or let's see here, framework benchmarks. Data visualization, and the async platforms, and quick start, Docker, I'm just trying to find it, but okay, anyway, we'll figure it out. So where I was getting with that is that there has been a request for an NFR some time ago. Well, I agree, John Miguel. If you watch the code, it's really easy to add any framework on the top. But that's pretty much cheating, right? So we don't want to do that. you know, the reason why you should choose a framework, in my personal opinion, is of course the features that it offers and performance. Right? And this performance has to be raw performance and also average performance, meaning that if you have a framework that is blistering fast when it prints stuff on the screen, but extremely slow when it uses a database, then you might rethink about that. Okay. For me, when I started working with Phalcon, which, believe it or not, it was 8 years ago, guys. I've been doing this for 8 years. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So when I started working with Falcon, it was 0.4, and I fell in love with it just because it was fast. Okay, some of the things I didn't like the way it was doing things, but you know, I worked it out. My love came from the speed, and then of course I got used to it with all the things, and now that I'm actually programming on it, I'm putting my little touch in order to make things as easy as possible for people to work on. That is why we are now requiring PSR, so that more and more people can inject different components that they're used to. And speaking of components, if you look at the screen here, we have this one, HTTP Rework, the Phalcon HTTP stack, and there's another one. This is important, and there you go. And then it's this one, ability to handle the request via PSR and a server request. Okay, it's this one and the Rework, the Phalcon HTTP stack. So 14 votes on this, 15 votes on that. Nice, Julius. You started at 0.42. So to your point, John, if we're able to rewrite the HTTP stack and introduce and make Phalcon to be to make Phalcon so that it accepts PSR 7 requests, right? The server request object, and handle that, and then emit responses at the back. Okay. Whether this would be with middleware or whether not with middleware, that's totally different point. But once we get that done, then you would be able to grab Phalcon, throw it in Roadrunner, and then immediately you're gonna have a huge boost in speed, right? And I don't remember if Swool, their server accepts PSR 7. I think it does. So you could potentially put Phalcon and Swool at the same time, and then you're gonna see speed. Different things. This is where we're moving on to. This is what we want to do. We want to give everybody as much information as possible and as much flexibility as possible by doing everything in some sort of a standard. So on this one, the ability to handle the request by PSR 7, what I was thinking of is, so you would get the request, right? And the router will pretty much instantiate some sort of a middleware dispatcher. Something like that. So you would get the response, then it will go to this little for each loop if you want, and then we'll check what kind of middleware do you have, and the middleware would be a little piece of code that would manipulate your request. So one of the things to manipulate could very well be, let's say, authentication. Is this person authenticated or not? Is this person authorized or not? Did this person send me JSON and I was expecting something else? Blah, blah, blah. Keep on going. And then once that is done, all through the server request of PSR 7, then it can actually go get routed to whatever controller it needs to go, do the actions, and then come back and then emit the response back. So that's what we want to do. It's gonna be interesting when we start doing it. So John says PHP NGX runs with any PHP directly. And PHP is faster to Node.js than Node.js according to benchmarks. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure Node is faster. It's more asynchronous. So, yeah, well, we can definitely do. We can definitely check all these things later on. For now, we're kind of like swamped in trying to fight with the issues that we have in GitHub. So I actually wanted to do some stuff here. I actually wanted to move some feature requests from one to another, from one issue to another. So what I usually do is I take these guys, go down. Hold on, I need to copy the text here. Yep. Let me copy this. Okay, so I'll copy that, and then what I usually do is I go and find these new feature requests, and then so label, I think. Bleh. I didn't do that right. Let's see. No. Actually, let's open this, and then this one is the one that I want. Come here. Click. And new feature request. Alright, so these are the NFRs. Let's see, what do we have? Do we have anything that it's not assigned? Okay, so all these are assigned. They're gonna come up in 4.1.0. Excellent. And then assigned. This is the voting issue. So rebind to DI. This one already has. Unexpected jump for version 3.4. I think this one is documentation. I need to add something. Alright, so this one is one, and this one is the other. The Uuid was the one that Oleg created. I know that for sure. So we're gonna paste this one here. And then we're gonna paste this one here. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna copy this guy here, and then go paste it there. What would this be? What would this be? I mean, it's not the dispatcher. It's what? It's random, maybe. String, maybe. Different UID versions. Wasn't that secure? Security. Yes, it was security. So we're gonna do that, and then this one will close, and then this one here, taking this, we're closing it there, and then we're putting this here, and then that one will be PHQL. Okay, close and comment. Alright, so whoever needs those, yeah, well, random is in security, Oleg, so that's perfectly fine. John, The working environment, especially PHP and GX, could use any PHP. It only calls the router and automatically populates the global variables get post and server. Yeah, well, we can have a look at it at some point. Hello, Radoslav. Welcome, buddy. So, I've never worked with Workerman. Sorry. The only reason I know about this is because I had seen the Tech Empower, and it came up there, and I was thinking, oh, what is this? So that's how I knew about it. I actually knew of it, not about it. Excuse me. So yeah, this one is here. So what I need to do is I need to take my terminal and initiate the run here. So let's bring all the different these are all the translations that came over. And then I'm gonna go back. And now that I'm gonna push, Netlify is gonna build the document side, and then you're gonna see in the NFR list when this thing is built. Where is it? Here in this NFR list, you're gonna see at the bottom with 000. Hey, you know, it is what it is. The new things that I added. Okay, so Mike, hello Mike. Can you give me a good example using Phalcon in simple commerce? Maybe there's a link to GitHub. I actually don't have a link to give you with regards to that. There was a Phalcon cart that I have seen some time ago, and I don't remember. What I would suggest is to go to Awesome Phalcon for starters. So the link is this one here. And if you go to the parent organization that we have, you're going to see Awesome Phalcon, and then you're going to see a list of different things, different implementations that people use. For instance, one of the latest ones that we got was this one, Kick CMS. The CMS was built in Phalcon. Really good. CMS, very good implementation. You know, and keep on going and see whether some of these implementations actually fit your needs in terms of a commerce. I do not think that there is a commerce per se package just for this. Speaking of, there you go, shopping cart. I was telling you that. Man, my memory is good. And you see this one has 5 months ago, so there is some activity here by Sinbad X III. So Sinbad X is 13. Sinbad 13. So he has his Phalcon card here. Maybe that can help you. Okay. Joan, please help me update the Phalcon test. I wish I could help you, Joan, but I'm really up to here and maybe more in tasks, so I have no additional time to offer to any other projects. I would have loved to. Maybe if you put a post in the forum or in Discord, and you guys can get together and work it out. Jeremy, hello. Also help me send a bug issue to Phalcon. It's really simple, John. So what you do is you come to the main repository. It depends where the bug is. If the bug is in Phalcon, then you come to this one here, the C Phalcon repository. There you go. Hold on. This one here, If the bug is in incubator, you go to the incubator. If you go to DevTools and so on and so forth. So all you do is you just go here, and then what you want is you want to create an issue, right? Just fill in a bug. So what you do is you go here where it says issues, and then you click on new issue, and then you have three options here. So the first option is bug report. It's you feel that something is not working as it should, or then you fill up that. You have an idea about a feature request, you fill this one. Or if you found a security vulnerability, you issue that one. Now, for the security vulnerability, those we take them really, really serious. The benchmark helped you to find a bug. Oh, okay. So let me quickly finish this. We take this very seriously. We had only a couple of them in the life of Phalcon that we actually got direct emails from people saying, hey, look at that part, there's a security hole. And we actually patched those holes without even without the community even knowing about it. We're very open and transparent. And we want people to know that their installations do have or do not have vulnerabilities. So whenever something like this happens, we kind of like drop everything and fix it. Okay. So this is what this one, the vulnerability will do. And you have to view the policy and just go on ahead. Jeremy in the house. Hello, buddy. Anthony. Hello, Sergey. Hello, buddy. So Anthony says, why do you think the Laravel community is bigger than the Falcon community? It is many reasons, in my personal view again. First of all, Laravel, I don't know how it started, but usually what happens is in any business, in any part of our lives, there's certain people that are leaders and certain people that are followers. I mean, you can see this with your own life. So let's say the company that you work for, right? Somebody would go and cook, and other people are gonna be waiting behind to eat, right? And so there you go. You got a leader, the cook, and the followers, the people that are waiting to eat. Just like in any community and all that stuff, those leaders and followers are pretty much the same. So if a leader, or in some cases you might have heard the word influencer, if an influencer turns around and says, hey guys, look at what I found, all right, most people will actually go and try it, this thing that was advertised, all right. So I think at the beginning when Taylor, and he's done a great job, right? I'm not saying not a single bad word about the guy. He's done an excellent job. He has promoted PHP to big leaps and bounds, even more than what Symfony or Zen could have even imagined in the past. So when Taylor actually said, hey guys, I have a little thing that I called Laravel, a couple of influencers, maybe he's an influencer too, right? I don't know, got wind of it and said, hey, look at this. Well, the minute he said, look at this, another 100 developers looked at this, the new thing, and because it's PHP, they started contributing, and it was much easier for people to contribute new things. And it started growing, and lo and behold, lo and behold, it actually caught, and then its reputation kept on growing. And the more people you have, the more things you can do. So you had more people that were enthusiastic about it, and they created a podcast. And they had the time to devote to podcast. You had more people devoting and checking the documentation. Lo and behold, the documentation became perfect. You had people that said, oh, you know what, we don't like these these icons over there, we're gonna do something for you. So they devoted some time and they fixed all the Laravel websites and all that stuff to have the perfect CSS, the perfect this, perfect that. So the more popular you become, and of course it matters if this is something very easy, and PHP is easy rather than writing things in Zephyr. Okay, the fact alone that Phalcon is a C extension actually stops a lot of people from even looking at the code, and they don't realize that you don't have to know C in order to program everything. So I've actually showed you numerous times that I don't know C. I don't know anything. If it weren't for Sergey, I would be completely lost. I program in Zephyr, and Zephyr is very similar to PHP, and I understand it. There are a couple of things that I need to do to make sure that I comply with the language, and you learn those. That's not a big deal. But other than that, there's nothing else left. Yep, Radoslaw has a different approach, which I truly believe that it's also true. Laravel or Symfony or even Zend, they are more popular because 90% of the PHP community are using shared hosting a few years ago, and installing extension like Phalcon was a blocker. I do remember the fights that we had to go through with cPanel. I do remember that they were. I think we requested cPanel to compile Phalcon for us, to write the recipe or something like that. And what they did is they said, you know what, just put it here in the features website. So okay, we created a feature there. Well, lo and behold, from our blog post, the actual feature got something like 150 votes, or even more, in no time, right? So it was catapulted all the way at the top of their feature list, and everything was fine. We're saying, okay, well, if it's gonna be a feature in cPanel, then all you will have to do as a developer, just say, hey, Radoslaw, you're my host. Can you install this in my instance? And then Radoslaw would go and just click a button in cPanel, and then everything would be installed, and you, lo and behold, you have Phalcon, right? Well, little did we know that cPanel went and removed pretty much all of our votes. They left us with something like 20 votes or 30 votes, because they said that all the votes came from only one source, which they brought it back in the URL was a blog post. Duh! This is our community. This is how we communicate. We create a blog post. People read it, and then they clicked the link from the blog post and came to your site in order to vote. So what's wrong with that? Anyhow, it wasn't nice. We had that fight. Later on, they redeemed themselves. They created packages. Now you can do that. And of course, a huge thanks to Uuid and his persistence. We finally got Phalcon into Phalcon. Finally, after years of sending requests after request after request. Here's where I was saying, if you're an influencer and if they know you, kind of thing, we have requested a PHP account in order to put Phalcon into Phalcon. I don't know how many times. I remember Andres Gutierrez, the grandfather or the father of Phalcon, if you like, the guy who visualized this. Those that are a little bit old in terms of using the framework, not necessarily old in years, will remember Andres. He has sent so many requests into Phalcon to get in and offer this, it's not even funny. Sergey did the same thing. I mean, you would actually see us a well-established framework with a good user base. I mean, we're not a huge as Laravel, but we're not small. You know, if you have 10,000 stars on GitHub, you are doing something right. Okay, we have nearly 2,000 forks of the repository. So, yeah, we are doing something right. It's not that we have the crazy numbers, but we do have a really good community, and a lot of organizations are using the framework. Yeah, saludos, definitely. Saludos to Andres. God bless him wherever he's at. I hope he's doing well, and everybody. I hope everybody's safe. But where I was getting with this is that even Sergey was trying to get the Zephyr parser. You know, a tiny extension for us to get into Phalcon. Nope. We would not get any answers. We would not get any replies. They would just say, "Oh, you gotta fix this" or whatever, and then nobody would reply. And then Ruud kept on pinging and pinging and pinging people, and then in the end, we did manage to get an account, and now we have Phalcon into Phalcon. If Phalcon was in Phalcon, let's say version 2 or version 3 were coming out, so 4 or 5 years ago, I'm pretty sure the whole picture would have been a lot different, because all hosting sites allow you to install Phalcon extensions. So all they have to do is just press a button, and they would have that extension ready. But anyway, I mean, it is what it is. So it is what it is. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I know that our community is strong. It gets better and better slowly. You do see that even in our Discord, even now that people are trying and trying and trying and trying new things while staying at home. You see new people always asking questions. You see the forum. There's activity and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I'm not worried about that. Oops, there you go. Wrong link about the Falcon dev. Okay, so yeah. So Shell says it's not converted properly to the link it should. I don't know. I don't know where you're referring to, Shell. Sorry, buddy. But in any case, I mean, Laravel has its own usage. Phalcon has its own usage, right? People will definitely offer a lot more help in Laravel because it's pure PHP framework, and they can actually go and see and navigate through the code. They can even debug the code. If you have let's say Xdebug installed with PHP Storm, you can actually press F5 and F8 and all that and keep on going through the code, and you can see what is going. So it's also a learning curve for new developers. I mean, I've done that in my earlier years. I would actually go slowly through the code that somebody else has written in order to learn more. And here would come the books and more additional questions and reading and so on and so forth. And that's how I started progressing. So it's easy for people to learn. Whereas with Phalcon, you don't have a step-by-step to go into the Zephyr C code in order to look into. You have to open a different window just to look how it moves. And you have to understand a little bit Zephyr, which is not that bad, but it could be very well intimidating. So that's all there is to it. So let me see. This one should have updated by now. There you go. So if I refresh this page, okay. There you go. Security, different UID versions. And where's the other one that came up? there you go, a PHQL, registering custom expressions using PHP dialogues. These two were added into that ticket, into this ticket, and then when we deploy the documentations, the documentation, it actually goes and queries this ticket, right? We're using the GitHub API, and then it checks how many comments you have, and then you check the how many reactions you have, and once that is done, this is pure PHP, right? Once that is done, it creates the table that you saw here in the documentation with sorted stuff. Julie's, maybe you should make a video tutorial to debug properly with Falcon and Zephyr. Okay, but still, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Julius. That's the thing. You cannot debug with Falcon and Zephyr. All right, you have to know exactly what you're doing. That didn't come out right. Let me put it this way. If you, let's say, no, let's open the project here, new window. All right. So this is Falcon, right? All of it, and PHP Storm and all that. Let's assume, for argument's sake, that you use a component. Oleg mentioned the security random, right? So let's say you use this new component. All right. So what you want to do is you want to create. Where's the UUID? There you go. You want to create a UUID. Now, this particular method is in Zephyr, and you can see it's very similar to Falcon. Sorry, to PHP. The only big differences is that when you do an assignment to a variable, first you have to declare the variable at the top, and then you use let. You don't use the $sign. But then, I mean, this is pretty easy. There you have array values here, you have unpack here, you have this here, you have bytes, which is a method here, you have an array here that does some ands and ors, array and shift, and then call user function with sprintf the array. So it's not that difficult to understand what is going on here. You can change this code to PHP very quickly, right? So there's no $signs, it's the let. But what happens if I want to debug this code? Well, you're not going to be able to unless you put any var dumps or anything like that in this particular code, and you compile the extension and then you run your code. Now you can debug your PHP code that runs Falcon, and you can also have xdebug on that. Yeah, so you can use xdebug to step by step your code, and then it will run this part in one go, in one step, if you like. So you cannot necessarily debug this part, but you can debug your code, which will take advantage of this. You can also use the debug component that is here. There's a video, I think, on our YouTube or other library and all that stuff. So yeah, you have to install the debug info packages to look at the backtrace. It's not very easy to look at the backtrace. It's a pain in the behind. You do have some information in the documentation on how to get the backtrace. To be quite frank with you, there's only a couple of times that I had to do it. Any other time I pretty much understood what was going on, but I'm working on this stuff, so it's easier for me. Also, announcement, just got it here. Announces from Radoslaw. So he said, first one, the new version of Phalcon, it will be the first public release, will be ready in the first week of June. Phalcon is sorry, the first public release of Phalcon. Phalcon is an application for creating documentation with I18N, which is localization, and we're looking at the first week of June. And also the second announcement, he has created a CMS called Hero CMS. So he's gonna offer that to the community for review in order to have a look at what's going on. So guys, whoever can, absolutely go and help Radoslaw with feedback, what he's doing right, what he's not doing right, what would you like to see, and all that stuff. Okay, absolutely, we need to support each other and help each other get a much better code no matter what we do. Yeah, salute. Let's see. Oh my gosh. We've been on this for an hour already? Wow. I can't believe this. Time flies when you're having fun, man. By the way, Radoslaw, you know the drill. Absolutely put those links in the awesome Falcon. And of course, if you want to promote this, we can write together. You know, you can write it. I can help if you need to. A blog post showcasing this. We did this for Kick CMS as well. More than happy to promote your CMS and your Phalcon and all that. Absolutely, we can do that. Just to give you a heads up. And for the rest of the community, I've said this numerous times. We would be more than happy to have a blog post for your project. If your project is open sourced and or if you have a success story, for instance, Uuid wrote a success story where he created a Falcon based application that was communicating with Raspberry Pis in a factory that was creating furniture. I mean, how crazy is that, right? But you know, he made that, and he wrote he pointed out how he did the implementation, not necessarily offering what the code was, but he had a couple of samples. You know, if your client does not allow you to offer some samples, then that's fine. But you could do that, and we can post everything online. So, absolutely. So yeah. Oh, one other thing, guys. I just wanted to mention this here now that we got all the gang together, or some of us are here. For those that have been around a little bit, you know that. Hold that thought, Anthony. I'm gonna reply to this. Okay. So for those that have been around, you know that the first thing that we did in order to support the project, because we pretty much supported with our own work and our own stuff. So to give you an idea, the hosting goes onto my servers. In the past, Uuid or Sergey or even Andres have done additional, have had additional expenses from their own pockets just to make the project work. Think about it. the easiest expense is just to register a name. All right. So in the past, what we did is we bought some stickers, and we were selling them. You would get some, like, I don't remember how many stickers for $5. It was either 5 or 10 stickers you would get for $5, and it would actually help us in the long run. And all that money actually went mostly to Andres in order to help him work things out, because he was the one that was putting the most effort. And later on, we actually changed. We got, I think, into Patreon first, and then we went to Open Collective, which is a better fit for us, for now at least. So there have been a lot of people that have been contributing every month to Open Collective, from $2 to $1,000, right? It varies, and people have always been very generous. So we managed to gather a good amount of money, and we were not spending it because we didn't want to spend it just in case. So, well, now the time came to actually spend some money. So we approved expenditures for each and every one of the members of the team, in order to help everybody with the new COVID, the Wuhan virus, whatever it's called, situation a little bit, because we're all staying home, and all of our lives have actually been turned upside down, and you guys know it as well as we do. Especially Uuid was the one that was hit mostly, with all of his businesses going upside down. So that was one of the expenses that we've done. So whenever whoever goes to Open Collective and looks at our balance, you're going to see a much lower balance right now. But we always keep those funds in order to help Phalcon, and in the end help ourselves. I think after all these years, we can actually get a little bit of funds in order to help us in this situation. I just want to make sure that is the case. Of course, all this is going to be in our financial report at the end of the year and all that stuff. Okay, so coming back to what Anthony is asking. Just curious, why is MongoDB not yet supported in Phalcon 4? What was the real issue? Because I'm still using Phalcon 3 and cannot upgrade to Phalcon without MongoDB support. Okay, so the problem with MongoDB support is the actual interface of MongoDB. So it is a technical limitation of Zend engine, or not limitation, it's the way it works, right? Okay, so in the past, the way we would do it is we would have the Phalcon collection, Phalcon/collection, and those would be the ODM, the one that communicates with Mongo. We would have that as a wrapper around the MongoDB driver. Okay? And whenever you would say, oh, give me a document, in the background, what would happen is we would instantiate the driver, we would connect to Mongo, pick up the document, manipulate the document a little bit so that it conforms with whatever we show back, and then we would give you the results back. And then, of course, when you issue save and delete and all that stuff, all these operations would happen. Okay. Now, that was perfectly fine, and I'm going to give you a very easy example here on the screen to understand what I'm talking about. And the example would be with storage and then Redis, the Redis adapter. So imagine this is your collection, right? Well, what are you doing? Okay, construct. I'm going to connect to some things. Clear, decrement, delete. These are all methods that you run. Okay. But the key here is, first of all, this part, which is, okay, I'm extending the abstract adapter. All right, let's have a look at what the abstract adapter does. Okay, the abstract adapter implements the adapter interface. The adapter interface is something that I created. Okay, it's this thing, right? So everything is Phalcon related. There's nothing outside. If you see here, everything is Phalcon related. Datetime and date interval are just PHP based. So they're there already. Abstract adapter is there. And Redis, still Phalcon, 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 Phalcon. These are the namespaces. So it's everything is inside the extension. Okay. So I don't need anything else. This class would actually load the abstract adapter, and then in turn it will load the adapter interface. But they're all in the same extension. Okay. Now, when you go back down to the get adapter, hold on, let me find this. There you go. This method is called in order to get the connection, if you like, to Redis and perform certain operations in it. For instance, if I scroll back up for a sec and the delete, right? What it's gonna do is it's gonna get the adapter, and then it's gonna call del on it, and that's a command for Redis. Okay. So how do I do the adapter? Inside this class, inside this method rather, I create a new Redis object. If you see here, it says new /Redis. Okay, I'm creating a new object. You might ask, what happens if I don't have the Redis extension? Well, Phalcon will load properly, but whenever you try to call this, you're gonna get an error in your logs because you're trying to create a class that doesn't exist. Okay. But if you have the extension, the pRedis extension, then this class will be there, and then this one would work. Okay. Now, in the old Mongo way, the version 3, this was roughly the way it was done. So you would want to perform an operation, a store, a delete, an increment, whatever, then your code, the collection, would actually go and call to get the adapter, whatever the adapter was, the connection to Mongo, and then it would create the connection like this. It would be blah 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 equals new /Mongo, right? So that one would be the little thing. All right, that's great. And then of course it kept on going. It kept on producing the results back and then forwards. It kept on doing this communication back and forth, this translation, if you like, between Mongo and your application. Now in the new in the Phalcon 4, we could not support that driver anymore. It was completely deprecated, and most people could not even use it because most people could not install it. So we upgraded to the latest driver, and TacticX, who's one of our contributors, managed to do this whole implementation of the collection. He just wrote the whole thing again. Okay. Now the problem is that Tactics started using an interface from Mongo. And that interface, I think it was BSON/serializable or something like that. So to give you an idea here, it was something like this. I'm just gonna make stuff up, but I just wanted you to have an idea. Something like this. Right? So it's not exactly how it's done, but it will give you an idea. So you would just say that my class extends this, but also implements this interface, right? Which is fine, nothing out of the ordinary here. The out of the ordinary is the namespace at the top. For every single request, if I have this particular code, for every single request, Zend Engine will try and analyze what interfaces are used, what classes are extended, and what is being implemented. And then what it will do is it will say, okay, you extend the abstract adapter, okay, fine, I just loaded it back. You implement this serializable interface, Okay, where's that? Okay, it's in the Mongo. I need the Mongo extension. It will do it in every single request. And because it does it in every request and your interface does not exist, then your extension will never load. So even let's say Julius, who doesn't like MongoDB, right? If he wants to install Phalcon with this kind of implementation, the way you see it on screen, he will have to install MongoDB first, the driver, the PHP driver, and then load Phalcon, because otherwise it wouldn't work. Okay, so this is the biggest thing, the interface and the difference between. So somebody can easily ask the question that I asked myself numerous times. Let's not put the interface at all. Let's use the good old implementation where you come over here in the get adapter and you create a brand new MongoDB object, which comes from the extension. You don't have it in the class up there. You don't have it as an interface. So Phalcon will compile and it will load. And if somebody wants to use Mongo, all they have to do is just make sure that the driver is there, the extension is there, and then keep on driving. There's significant gains of using these kind of extensions. I have not reached out to TacticX, who has completely done this, right? Recently, again, we've been very busy and all that, but there were two avenues that we could have taken. One, and we haven't decided yet which one it is. One would be to not use the interface as I mentioned, and use an implementation similar to the one that you see on screen. So you will create the new Mongo object and then you would query it and so on and so forth. So that's one. The other one is to move the Mongo implementation straight to the incubator. And by moving it into the incubator, you allow people to be able to bring it into their projects only if they want to use Mongo. This way you allow the rest of the people to not have to worry about Mongo. If I were to vote, I would probably vote for the second part, to move it to the incubator, but we don't have a plan yet as to what we're going to do. But definitely Mongo is something that we're not abandoning. It's just a decision has to be made, and we just haven't made that decision yet. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Anthony. It was very long-winded, but I'm really sorry. Oh, there you go. Jackerson is online. Anton. So I almost finished the incubator ACL with MongoDB. So there's some stuff that we have there. And actually, guys, if you noticed, the incubator is a great repository to work and play and share code with everybody. I will remind those that are not that old on the framework that behaviors in the database used to be where am I going? There. Okay. Camera is not squaring up. Behaviors in the database used to be something that we put in the incubator first, and then it was translated into Falcon. So the incubators becomes some sort of a how should I put this? It's a pre-repo where people actually put very popular versions of stuff that they like with a Falcon E implementation, but only in PHP. And then the more we see a lot of usage for this particular item, yeah, of course we can bring it into the main repository. All right. So definitely check out the repository, the incubator repository. So Falcon. Incubator. So test helpers for PHP unit and codeception. Annotations here. In general, this is the incubator repository that we have. We started splitting it into smaller, more manageable chunks. You might have seen the incubator-ACL, but pretty much what you would see is all these classes here that can definitely be installed using a simple composer command, and then you can have everything. Now, the current incubator is installing everything, but Anton has been working diligently on splitting it into very, very small chunks so that you can choose exactly what you want. Exactly what you want, nothing else. So to give you an idea, there is a logger here, right? And the extension of it, the extension of it in the incubator is that we now have a database logger. So you can use the logger to log things in database. You have the fire logger in Firebug. You have UDP logger, right? These are not implementations inside Phalcon, but you can use this particular implementation for your stuff. Now, bear in mind that there might be a difference between this version that you see here and the actual version of Falcon, because we changed the way things were implemented. So there might be some misalignment, but we're working on slowly on bringing the incubator with different versions, different releases in full compatibility with Falcon 4, right? And something else on the different incubators. Let me go back. So you see incubator ACL, extra components for Falcon ACL. So this one, again, source adapter and their database Mongo Redis. And this is the Falcon incubator ACL, and it does whatever you need to do here, blah, blah, blah. And Mongo is under work and all that. Jam Nicola says, so will the chunks of the incubator be added to separate composer repositories? And Anton says, yes, absolutely. And this is going to be a good thing for us too, guys. If we see that, for instance, in this one here that I'm actually showing you, the Falcon incubator ACL, if we actually see that a lot of people are installing it, all right, for their applications, we see a huge peak. Why don't we put this in the main framework, right? In the core. Why do we have to have it in there? And this way, all that people will have to do is just throw in a configuration object, and ta-da, you're there. Okay. So back to what we've been talking about, Anthony. The Mongo one here, you see that it has the MongoDB collection and abstract adapters and all that stuff, and it actually goes and connects at some point. Add role, I think. Sorry, hold on. I don't remember this code. I haven't seen it in a while, so. Oops, sorry. There you go, get collection, you do something like that, and then it finds the rows and all that. So there is a somewhere down here where we create a new collection, or somewhere else. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. Protected, get collection from this DB select collection. So you initiate this connection, so to speak. And then on that you call whatever you want to call, and then you return it back to the way Falcon wanted it or needed it. So these are the things that we should do. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we're doing. I mean, a huge thank you to Anton, who managed um, to get us out of a big slump. And the reason I'm saying this is because he actually started working on Vokuro, and he started working on Invo. He split the migrations from DevTools, huge work on DevTools to get them to V4. And now he's working on Incubator, just splitting up. And I know that down the road we have work for redoing the forum software that we use, because the forum is a really good example for people to look and to use. There's some really good stuff in there, such as CSRF, login with GitHub, and so on and so forth, posting, validation, and all that stuff. So definitely we have a lot of things to do. And what we discussed earlier with all of you guys, I'm pretty sure that if this was a PHP program, just a PHP one, people would have gone nuts. Oh, let's help, la 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 la. But that's the thing. Just because a lot of developers hear that, oh, this is a C extension or a PHP extension, immediately they say, oh, well, it's not gonna help me. I won't be able to know C. Yet, if you look at the repositories, right? All right, fair enough. Zephyr, unless you're a C programmer, you're not gonna contribute to Zephyr, right? Then we have the docs application. This is written in Jekyll, and it's a static website. Okay. Incubator test, PHP. Falcon IO, you're not gonna worry about that. Blog, again, you're not gonna worry about that. Those are again Jekyll sites. Falcon Dev Tools, it's PHP. Phalcon, fair enough, it's Zephyr. Zephyr issues, this is a private repository that we keep certain issues. ID stubs, PHP. Annotations, Incubator ACL, PHP. This is where we keep some assets. Migrations, PHP. Zephyr parser, you're probably never gonna use that. Maybe if you want to parse something that you wrote in Zephyr. And then you have Vokuro, Incubator validation, mailer, logger, HTTP error, blah 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 blah. So you see a lot of things are written in PHP, and if you really want to go get your hands dirty, you can make a difference. You can offer something. One of the things that we desperately need some help with is with Java, and especially with Java plugins that go to PHP Storm. So our IDEA plugin for Zephyr needs quite a bit of love. So if anybody knows anything, or if you guys know somebody that does know, or the cousin of the brother-in-law and the twice removed relative or something like that knows something, would be interested to help a little bit with the IDEA plugin, that would be great. So yeah, these are the things we have. Let me see, do I have it here? I don't see it. Definitely something for here. The Zephyr Atom. It's okay. I'm gonna post an article with regards to this, a blog post, so to ask for help if anybody knows. I just cannot see it right now where it is. Probably it's in the Zephyr organization, maybe. So yeah. Any other questions, guys? Anything you want to talk about and all that? All right, unless unless you guys have anything else that you want to talk about, we've been online for nearly an hour and a half. We can definitely call it an evening. But if you guys have any questions or anything that you want to talk about, by all means. I mean, I was gonna do some stuff here at home, but I'm more than happy to stay here a little bit and talk to you guys. All right. Ta-da-da. Okay, so close that, close that, close that. Is this? This is the Mango. AI is no longer a threat to data security. Oh, nice little CSS up here. And it'd be great to know what is Mango. It's an encryption algorithm that uses asymmetric keys with designed with a focus on simplicity and efficiency by using permutation, manipulated Fibonacci and stochastic functions dependent on time, and encryption process changes over time. Interesting. This is the one that I was telling you guys that they posted that they're gonna build everything in Falcon, I think. Testing with Falcon. Encryption key companion. What is this? Let's put 13. Encrypt. Boink. There you go. There's the result. Encrypted is this. The decryption key is that. And apparently it says that there's some stuff on my console. That's interesting. Alright, so let's run this again. Oh, okay. Let's put 13 again here, encrypt. Boink. Alright, so 1 core RAM is 128, total time taken, oh wow. Number of possible encryptions 95 to the power of 54. Number of possible keys 95 to the power of 91. That's really cool. So if I take this encrypted value and just put it there, and then take the decryption key and just put it there, let's see how long it will take it to decrypt. Oh wow, that's really fast. Very interesting. Way to go, Uuid. That's really cool. Oh my gosh, my phone is just going nuts. Okay, so Jamnik is Toml considered to be added to config adapters in the future. Not right now, but more than happy to see something in the incubator. And I don't know how I haven't seen how you can parse toml from PHP. I haven't been able to find that out yet. I mean, I don't know. You guys definitely know. Actually, here's a here's a question. Parse toml from PHP. There we go. That's gonna give us the answer. Yo Symfony toml PHP parser for toml. Excellent. Okay. Let's see. This was done a couple of years ago. What about this one? This one is a little bit... Alright. So what does it do? It requires that, and then it parses the file. Okay. Well, definitely we can do something so long as it's in the incubator. I mean, I could potentially pick one of those projects, study it, and see how it parses toml. Toml is most likely it's not going to be that difficult to parse. It looks roughly like YAML or something like that. Yeah, it's definitely something that we can consider, Jamnik. So you could create an NFR if you want to, and we'll put it up in the list for people to vote. You can also create a some sort of implementation that would go into the incubator, and then people can actually contribute and so on and so forth, or offer ideas, and the more people want it, the more it will go to the core application. So absolutely, go for it. Okay. All right, I think we need to call it a day. Guys, thank you so much all for coming. I don't see any other questions. Probably people are either sleeping or they're extremely tired. Sorry about going back and forth in my camera. I never had the page properly aligned, or the camera properly aligned, so the place that it was supposed to be was not 100% accurate, so I kept on moving left and right. So I apologize about that. Next time I'm gonna have a better camera view so that you can actually see what's going on. Not that you want to see my ugly face, but alright, so I'd like to wish everybody good night. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and we will talk online. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Okay. Wow. Gotta love this.